I'm recording. It's all good if you. It is what it is. All right. All right. I'm gonna do some relevant boxing talk. All right. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give it to you from a black fight fan's perspective. And I'm here to convert some people to the sport of boxing. So some people that can agree with my stance. I know y'all out there. All right. So what's happening? What's happening? So it's July 20th, 2023 on July 29th, 2023 is going to be one of the most anticipated fights in the sport of boxing occurring. Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Wow. Let's just let me do my best to take it from as early as I know and how it leads up to this moment of fights week of perhaps one of the greatest fights of all time, right? So, it started out in where Terence Crawford was campaigning for undisputed in the junior welterweight division, which is 140 pounds, and Errol Spence was at welterweight 147. On social media, it started to create a buzz at this point, and I don't know what year it is. Let me see if I can look it up, like actually right now. Let's say the Crawford, who he fought for undisputed 140 undisputed fight. So let's just see if that makes sense. Oh wow! Look at what it's pulling up. Was Crawford run the easiest undisputed run ever? ES News. But who he fight though? I'm gonna pause just to make sure. Be the first to know. What is this? Breaking news. Oh. All right. What am I like? Terence Crawford make history unified. So I just want to know who he was fighting. Indongo. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Julius Indongo. And that was on. Which year? Crawford becomes the first undisputed champion at any title weight class. Oh, okay, okay. Since 2006. So what year is this? 2017. Damn. So 2017. Around 2017. Probably prior. I'm sure prior to that, really. Um, it was mentioned on the LDBC that this is looks like an exciting fight, you know. And ever since then, it's been creating reverberations, the potential in uh, this matchup of like just two generational greats and in the fight. You hear of when you look at the history of this of undisputed matchups. This, not to mention that this is for undisputed in the division for all the marbles, as they say. So, but you look at the history of undisputeds, and I just looked it up. I'm still recording. Okay. I just googled this. List of undisputed world champions. When you scroll down to welterweight, light middle. That's like welterweight, so I skip past it. What they say, Zab Judah in 06 was undisputed, but this was the 3-belt era. Oh, am I doing this right? No, Donald Curry. Oh yeah, I am. Yeah, Zab Judah. They say he was disputed from 05 to 06. What's that? Okay, one defense. So yeah, 05, 06 was the last time that was undisputed in the welterweight division, and it hasn't been any time in the 4-belt era, which according to the Wikipedia page it came in 07. So not only is it a big fight, it's an important fight, but how big is this fight? How big is this fight? To boxing this is a big fight, right? However, the fight was announced recently, like 2 months ago. The fight was officially announced. And it hasn't got the promotion that it should from the PBC platform. Now, PBC platforms are great. It is the platform of boxing in this modern time. Following HBO's reign. So. But the promotion hasn't really, for what I would say, not been there. It just simply wasn't there. It isn't there. They got the embedded. They're doing they did 2 episodes of an embedded to see the training camp. It gives you a glimpse of the training camp or whatever. What else did they do? The press conference, the initial press conference that was prior to the embedded. They had the Errol Spence's media workout. July 20th, the fight 9 days from now. And yesterday they had Terence Crawford's media workout, right? So I think the only other thing that's happening is the weigh-in, and then the fight. So if you list that, what's that? That was like a total of I don't know, what was that? 5, I don't know, things that they significantly did. They did the pageantry. They gave it a pageantry promotion. That's not good enough for this. You know, you want um, you want more than that. You want to put a little bit more into the marketing of this fight. I don't care how late breaking um, it is, which I get to that later, but um, you want to definitely put a little penny into the marketing of this fight. I'm not a big TV watcher, a major network watcher, but so I don't know how it's doing on like regular TV, but um, even within like the internet, yeah, there's been no marketing outside of you being a boxing head, someone who's like following it day to day, you know. And I mean, yeah, with a fight this big, with a matchup of this magnitude, like you really want to, like, you can easily market this one. It doesn't take much to market this one, they've been compared to Hagler Hearns. That was at 154 though, but also Leonard Hearns. I think that was at 147. But I may not be right on that. But however, I mean, the greatest of matchups of all time in or around the welterweight division is what this matchup is being compared to, and then and rightfully so, phenomenal talent. These two men are, um, a collision of two styles, and they're both equally at master class status. This ain't no my style beat your style kind of situation, because they both are the top of their respective styles. So is more. It appears that it'll be more of, I want to say, attrition. Let me just Google this one, make sure that I understand the attrition in its full context. Attrition, the action or process of gradually reducing the strength or effectiveness of someone or something through sustained attack. Yeah. It really is an attrition battle. This one right here. Um, this one right here is like a 15-round friendly fight. It is one that it can go so many ways. We just do not know until we see it. That's the type of match this is, which makes it utterly interesting. I mean, the style of Errol Spence is front foot, come forward, right? He takes the center of the ring kind of style, and he works in with his southpaw jab, so that's meaning that his right hand is in front and his right foot is in front and his left foot is in back, which is is a left-handed style. So so you get a lot more of the traditional stance, which is a right-handed style, which is is the orthodox stance. However, Errol Spence comes in with the southpaw stance, true southpaw. So with him being of the minority stance is already puzzling to most opponents, and but his forwardness in his style, I mean, it's like he has to be so difficult when facing. I mean, very awkward to deal with. You know, the an aggressive southpaw that works in with their jab. You know, he gonna work in there with his jab, and he's gonna sit on his punches. I mean, sounds simple enough, but I mean he really does it. You know, which makes him a special fighter. You know. And then let's just take and there's more to it than that. I mean, his IQ. I mean, he works in with his jab, but he does it like making sure that he's not getting hit. You know, yeah, I mean, um, just just a very awkward style to deal with. From the opponents. I mean, you can say a lot about Errol Spence. You know, you really can. I mean, he's it he has the. I mean, he's an equalizer too. You know, he has an equalizer. I mean, he's shown that he's down to fight, which is you know you know, down to the bitter end. You know, there's no reason why we have to doubt the dog in him. You know, just generational talent. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of cap it there. And now let's take a look at his opponent, Terence Crawford, Terence Bud Crawford. Unbelievable talent. He's an unbelievable talent. He started out his career at 130 pounds. I mean, I don't have a lot of his background, but what I do know is he started out his career at 130 pounds. And then I know that he was walking through them. You know what I'm saying? Like walking through them in a special way. You know, I just seen like this one highlight of him just touching somebody with I don't know if that's overhand left or right, while his back was against the ropes. I mean, my goodness. He moved up to 135, did his thing there. Then 140, where he became undisputed. You know. He came in just after Danny Garcia, you know, and he just yeah, got them belts. He got them belts, you know, but you gotta be you gotta be a special fighter to do that. You know, you definitely gotta be special to do that. So yeah, his style, right? Before I get to welterweight, wow, and he's an awkward guy, right? He you don't know. what makes him special is that you don't know his style, you know, in a weird kind of way, because one, he's properly known as a switch stancer, meaning that he'll fight out of not only the orthodox stance with the left foot leading, he also fights out the southpaw stance with the right foot leading. He's got power in both hands. You know, like I said, walking through him at 130, the same at 135. Undisputed at 140. You know, he got power in both hands, you know, and it's clear to see because he sits on his punches, and you can tell he really plants his feet well. He's comfortable uncorking one on you, and you know, into the body. You know, I mean, he really he's the type of dude that loves the taste of like his own blood. You know, he's a special kind of a savage. You know, when he's ticked. You know, so but he's such a man. He's so deliberate with his punching style. He has a deliberate punching style. Uh, Meaning that one, he's a boxer puncher, you know. So that's one thing I feel comfortable with saying about his style. He's I mean, excellent, like just all around package. Pause. Head movement, escape routes, just fleet of foot, you know. I mean, just his style so fluid. I mean, he got the pull counter game is what's special. You know, he pull counter. You know, and with a straight shot. You know, right on there or right on the chin. You know what I mean? He's kind of like just deliberate. Yeah, he is. So his style, I mean, he's definitely a jack of all trades, you know, and a master of some. You know, he definitely is, you know, that good, you know. So, and both men are undefeated. They both have like a crazy knockout ratio. So yeah, I mean, so here we are, the welterweight division, right? A glamour division. One of the richest divisions in boxing. You know, the heavyweight being boxing essentially, and then these smaller divisions comes along. Welterweight is one of those first iterations of the smaller divisions. A lot of history at the welterweight division. I mean, the one who they consider the greatest of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. his glory days, or part of his glory days, was at welterweight. You know, so here we are. Once again, we've seen other great. I mean, a rich history of welterweights. Floyd Mayweather, right? Sugar Ray Leonard. Um, yeah, to name a couple. Roberto Duran, sure. Um, I mean, my goodness. Thomas Hearns, you know. So here we are. Let's just, we can kind of call this a great, this matchup with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford is like a great little man versus a great big man. And I'm not trying to like, I'm just saying it has elements of that because here you go, a guy in Terence Bud Crawford who started out his career at 130. I mean, he had a brief stint at 130, okay? But, moved up to 135, then 140, then 147, now 147, right? Talking about moving to 154, I mean, he's that good, albeit this is, this is a test unlike any other. And Errol, uh, the truth, Spence Jr., like, man, I mean, what can I say, man? Errol Spence, he got it. Errol Spence got it. You know, I mean, it's just good to see, you know, that type, that the way the way he utilizes his style, man, it speaks more to him than his style, because man, he works. He's fundamentally sound. He's fundamentally sound. You know, and I don't care what the style is. I don't care what the style is. You gotta set everything up with the jab. You know. And he scores big time punches. Big time punches. He's got leg movement. You know, he with his front foot style, he boxes his opponents in, get that back to the ropes, and hey, yeah, it's not a good place to be if you're an opponent of his. I mean, literal bone crushing shots is what he throws. Um, yeah, he's, whew, yeah, you got to be ready to 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 um, get hit if you're going to fight Errol Spence. He's that type of danger because you're going to get hit if you fight in Errol Spence. That's just how he works. You're going to get hit when you fight Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying, in his prime. You're going to get hit when you fight Roy Jones in his prime. Hey, this is Errol Spence's prime. You know, see, Terence Crawford may take a break, mid rounds. I mean, he famously collects data in the first round, maybe two, you know. So yeah, and Errol Spence. I mean, I'm sorry. Shoot, I was talking about. Oh yeah, welterweight division. And now talking about this matchup, their styles. Yeah, we haven't seen nothing like it. Yeah, that's where I was at. We haven't seen much like this one that often. You know, Errol Spence has the three belts: the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. Terence Crawford has the WBO. Excuse the baby sounds. My beautiful wife is putting the baby to bed, so I appreciate my baby. Um, their styles are crazy, you know. All right, so yeah, who would I think is going to win? I guess I'll just get there. Errol Spence, I think Errol Spence wins this one. You know, um, it's been a lot leading up to this point. You know, when you think about just the fire, who has the fire advantage? I'm just going to get straight to the good parts. Who has the fire? Who has the and who's anticipating this fight more, Errol Spence or Terence Crawford? Well, I believe Errol Spence is anticipating this fight more than Terence Crawford is. I think Terence Crawford's camp, he and his camp, they're working hard to get ready for this fight. However, um, Errol Spence has been working harder, because when you couple it with his actual physical camp, he also had to fight. He was fighting as he was making the proper arrangements for this fight to happen from a business standpoint. You know, um, I mean, just like in the ring, Errol Spence walked him down into actually um, making this fight actually happen. Um, he's he spoke to Errol Spence has spoke to just the concessions that he had to make in order to make this fight happen, in order to just to satisfy the Terence Crawford team. That was a fight in itself, you know, and he is primed from a mental and emotional standpoint to where he brought that he brought that into the gym with him as he prepared for to this fight to in this fight with Terence Crawford. Yeah, and I mean he's I think he's going to be Errol Spence is definitely in. He's doing everything that he can to bring the best version of him right now. You know, yeah, yeah. So, um, but then you look at Terence Crawford, right? Like I said, a guy who is, while Errol Spence has awkwardness to his style, we, you know, his opponents know he's going to come straight through the front door. You know, um, if you will, SWAT team style versus some you know some imbecile, but he coming through the front door nonetheless. Um, Whereas with Terence Crawford, yes, he starts out collecting data, but boy oh boy can he fight. Boy oh boy is he the goods. I mean, the best short counter shots in the game, bar none. The best short counter shots in the game since Floyd Mayweather. I mean, hey, you know, I mean, he took it and then he put a little more sauce on it. I mean, 10 shots this far apart. It's his short counter game. So you better make sure you punching on the inside with this guy. If you don't want to get caught with one of those. Um, I mean, escape routes. He gets out of the way. He gonna hit you good. Hit you if he don't got a chin shot, he'll settle for the body, and boy, he gonna sink it in there good, and then he gonna escape out. He's an excellent pot shotter, I guess. Yeah, is going to. I mean, and not only that, he'll do some sweet combination. He'll turn that pot shot into a combination on your ass, and it can do some serious damage. I mean, if you ain't got your hands, if you ain't holding a telephone, if your elbows ain't tucked, and if you not ready to fire back yourself, man, he'll eat you up. He'll eat you up if he gets on his front foot. He can be a front foot boxer. He was that at the smaller divisions. But I mean, that said, with his fleet feet, he has a top tier in and out style, in and out game. Walk here, he'll circle you, step in, sink it to you, and escape before you before you even got a chance to counter. Short, sweet counters. His movement. He's seriously like an excellent punch. He's excellent at placing his punches. Excellent. You know, he definitely has an amazing jab when he uses it. An amazing, educated. I'm talking summa. What do you call that? Summa cum laude. With the jab, educated jab. The thing is, he gets away from it. He gets away from his jab though. So we're talking like the closest thing. Even though I do think Errol Spence is going to win this, you're not going to get closer to 50-50 leading up to a fight than this fight. you until you get into the weeds. Until you get into the weeds, everything looks 50-50. But like I said earlier, I believe that Errol Spence has an edge in the intangibles. Coming into this fight, yes, Errol Spence's style is very chameleon-like. You know, orthodox, southpaw stance. You know, he can hit you straight. He can hit you with loops, and they're gonna be on the button. You know, head, body makes no difference. They're gonna hit you in the sweet spots with everything he's got in his undersized body for the division, relatively speaking. Because when you talk about Errol Spence, um, he's pure one stance only. He's gonna be southpaw. He not even playing. He not entertaining the other stance ever. You know. But with all these fluidities, that Terence Crawford has such fluidity to his game. I mean, he looks the goods doing it. He don't look like, how everything's intentional in his style. And then with Errol Spence, that part, his stance is rigid, but from there it gets pretty fluid. You know, some may say no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't get fluid, but listen, look, his feet are always well positioned. Yeah, he's comparing himself to Tim Duncan, and he was initially compared to Tim Duncan on the LDBC. I forget whose channel that was, but they called him Tim. They compared him to Tim Duncan, and then he went on to compare himself to Tim Duncan. Like I said, the LDBC is whom got the buzz initiated, right? They actually lit the spark, and yeah, they also get certain other little dubs, and I know that Tim Duncan was one of them. Because he's so fundamentally sound. I mean, people miss a lot of his game because they don't understand foundational things. They don't have the firm enough grasp on it. I mean, his feet are always well positioned. I mean, he can catch and shoot. I know I said Terence Crawford catches and shoots. Errol Spence catches and shoots. You know what I'm saying? With his is more of a body focused attack. He has a body focused attack. He's gonna hit you with his body. He's gonna hit you. He's just gonna hit you with a well sitted shot, well turned. He'll treat you like a heavy bag. He will literally turn you into a heavy bag in the middle of the ring. That's how front foot and fundamentally sound his style is. You know. And for this fight in particular, that this is his. Keep in mind, this is his style. This isn't like, his. This isn't his fire. This is his style. This is just how he does it. Coming off a couch, he said, "Hey, you wanna just go a couple rounds?" He just has a beat you up style. Which he learned his style too though, which makes him like just a one of a kind. You don't see these type of front foot styles. I mean, who's the Philadelphian great, the heavyweight, Ali versus oh, I feel so bad right now. Frazier. He has a very Frazier esque style for the welterweight division. Um, yeah, I mean, in his own way, not just like him, because he's just defense first. He's not. I mean, for the division, he's not short like how Frazier was. So he's big for the division. So you, yeah, sure. Um, but works in with that jab. That jab, and it ain't like his jab. See, like I said, Terence Crawford has a summa cum laude jab. This motherfucker got an educated jab. So does Errol Spence, right? But the different schools though. Terence Crawford's jab, it does everything. His jab does everything. Up jabs, soft touch jabs, you know, double jab, triple jab, just and changing the tempo on the jab, you know, and changing the impact on the jab too, I mean, just everything. And he'll sit on that jab and he'll sink it to you. Especially his southpaw jab with his right foot leading. I mean, he does it all from both stances, you know, with his jab. Unbelievable, just an absolute enigma as they have, as he's been touted, Then you got Errol Spence. You know what his jab gonna be like. But don't think that his jab is not an educated jab just because you know how he's gonna jab you. Because he's gonna sit on his jabs. He's gonna try to. He'll win a fight with his jab if that's what it took. Albeit he wants to get his power left hand in there, you know. He gonna sit on that southpaw jab with his right foot leading, his right hand leading, and he's gonna try to hurt you with it. That's a knack. That's sometimes, yeah, he works in, like I said, all this time he works in with the jab. But guess what? Them jabs are real deal punches. They aren't just, a little something to distract you with. So he, like I said, he can move in with that jab or he can sit on that jab. Um, just depends on the actual micro scenario that that opens up. Um, So that's a well educated jab. I mean, god damn it, that shit's summa cum laude too. It's just from a different school. A different school, you know. Uh, two different styles, top of their classes in their respective styles. From the way they set up the jab, the way they use the jab, um, in those power punches, both. I mean, man, oh man, both boxer punchers. Excuse me. Both pinpoint accuracy. Um, both with cruel intentions behind them. This is a fascinating matchup for sure. Very interesting, very 50-50. But then there's the ultimate difference, and why I believe that Errol Spence wins is because he just wants it more. That's just, yeah, let's just call it for what it is, man. Errol Spence just wants it more. He wants it more, and that is why Errol Spence, Terence Crawford ultimately does not get the win. I believe the campaign that Terence Crawford is going for is that one, he survives 12 rounds. Terence Crawford has to survive 12 rounds against Errol Spence. He, he's just, he's physically just not big enough to have the style that he has against Errol Spence. And I just don't know if he is you know, if he is prepared to use his style that he has to beat Errol Spence. I don't think he's ready to use his style to beat Errol Spence. I mean, Errol Spence is not like anybody else. He's just not like anybody else out here right now, with the exception of a Deontay Wilder. You know, when it comes to like actual fighting styles. I mean, and I'll say Devin Haney too, when it comes to fighting styles. um, yeah, using. I mean, yeah, Errol Spence simply wants it more. And yeah, that's why he's going to win. I don't think that Terence Crawford's strategies are going to work out in his favor. I think he has many kind of like campaigns that he'll have in the ring going on, but I think they're all dependent on going 12 rounds. I think he don't make 12 rounds. I don't think Terence Crawford can keep Errol Spence off of him enough. And I think a firefight situation is not a good idea for Terence Crawford. You simply he can touch Errol Spence. Yes, he can. He can touch Errol Spence, and he can fuck around hurt him. He can fuck around hurt him. I don't see how he has enough oomph for Errol Spence to not have the punch resistance. And I think Errol Spence just can weather a Terence Crawford storm better than Terence Crawford can weather an Errol Spence storm. You know, I think eventually what's going to happen is Errol Spence is going to walk him down. He's going to walk him down. I think he's prepared to. I think he's I think he's prepared his lateral movement to box in the circling Terence Crawford. I think he's going to get Terence Crawford's back on the ropes. If Terence Crawford decides to meet him in the center of the ring, it better not be for a firefight. It better not be for a firefight. Because he cannot get into a firefight with Errol Spence. But I don't know if he's tempered himself to the degree that he has to be in order to avoid it for 12 rounds. He needs to be an absolutely pure boxer. Absolutely pure boxer. If he is to win this fight, he cannot be thinking about 12 rounds. I mean, he cannot be thinking about, my bad. He cannot be thinking about firefights for 12 rounds. And, he has to he needs to be, well prepared to purely box this guy for 12 rounds. Shit, for 15 rounds, in theory. But, for the 12 rounds. And I don't think he's going to, I don't think just the way he's approached things, I don't see how he's going to discipline himself to that degree in order to win this fight. I think he's going to be tempted to get into a firefight because he's going to get hit. He's not going to like it, and he's going to respond with wrath, and it will be his downfall. Yep, because Errol Spence is a bigger dog. So, yep, and I think it's going to happen with rounds to spare. I do think it's going to happen with rounds to spare. I think I think Errol Spence really wants to stamp him out, stamp his name out, I just would think he wants to get him. I personally think, this is my opinion, that he just wants to get him out of there quickly. He don't want it to go past the first round. That's what I think. How he's approaching this fight. I mean, I think Terence Crawford is good enough for it to go past one round. I do think that. But it kind of falls off a cliff early. It falls off a cliff early for the champ in Terence Bud Crawford because Errol Spence is going to be so much on his front foot. I mean, he's going to... he's oh my goodness. I mean, Terence Crawford, otherwise, if people could argue that You don't know shit. You know, they could argue that. They could argue this. You know, like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Because what are you talking about, right? Is what they'll say. Because because Terence Crawford is going to. The opposite is the case. Terence Crawford is going to do this to Errol Spence. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. But what my eye test is telling me is that, yeah, Errol Spence stops him within 6 rounds. I believe that Errol Spence stops Terence Crawford within 6 rounds. Yep. I think that's similar to like Hagler Hearns, how that fight went. I think it only went 3 rounds to Hagler, you know, at the 154-pound division. Um, that means that Hearns is moving up, to the man that was already there. I kind of think a similar thing. He mean Errol Spence has been saying this is gonna be like, the all-time great matchups. He's been pushing this fight to the fans. Um, he's been pushing this fight to the fans, and while you know, his spirit is just for this in the anticipation of this fight is just different than that of Terence Crawford. I mean, I think he's going to really get in there and try to put a hurting on him early. I don't think he's really going to be, but he's always going to be calculated coming in, but his aggression is going to be at an all-time high, I believe. And he just wants to old school overwhelm. I believe he just wants to old school style overwhelm Terence Crawford. And yeah, he might get caught with a crafty counter. But he gonna eat it, and but Errol Spence gonna eat it, and he gonna fuck around push harder because of it. I mean, that's what I believe. I mean, I'm really imagining right now Hagler Hearns as I say this, so yeah, for arguably the biggest fight of this generation, I got Errol Spence within 6. So that's like part 1 of probably the biggest fight week of 2023. And I'm going to pause right there. All right, be right back. Still on? Yeah, like I said, biggest fight week. Arguably the biggest fight week of 2023 boxing year. And it ain't just because of the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight. See you on that Tuesday, July the 25th, is a big time showdown. That is boxing head friendly. That is a shame that is not as known to the household fan. You know, albeit is during the biggest matchup, the most anticipated matchup rather of the past 3 years. You know, since 2020, 2019 was this the anticipation for Errol Spence Terence Crawford at a buzz. You know. However, you have at the smaller divisions a matchup of just another set of all-time greats coming together. Whew. I mean, wow, what are the promoters doing? How are they sitting on their hands when it comes to marketing these matchups is beyond me. But you got the super bantamweight, I think is what it is, the 122-pound division. Let me just see. Let me just use my phone to see. Oh no. How many? 122. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you got. Oh man, you have a crazy matchup down there. It is so unbelievably exciting, you know. Woo, wow. Where do I begin on this one? I mean, so you got another case of great little man versus great big man, you know. Among the smaller division, you have uh, the Japanese born and bred fighter in Naoya Inoue, if I'm saying his name right. At the bantamweight division, the 118 pounds, who has been up to this point a multi-divisional phenom, champion phenom. I believe that he started out at 105 pounds. He started out in 105 pounds. I think that's the minimum division, like the minimum. This is what we call it, the minimum weight. I think he started out there, became a world champion, and then he's 118 pounds. And so you got the 105, and then it'd be like 108, like 3 pounds or something like that. But he apparently he's got like five divisions that he went through. I mean, this guy is a power puncher, a Japanese power puncher with excellent boxing skills. He's like the Arthur Beterbiev of these smaller divisions. He's like just a bone crunching, two fisted, punching, winning style wearing puncher boxers. He's a puncher boxer, but he's a damn good boxer. You know what I'm saying? He's a puncher boxer, but he's a damn good boxer, you know? Mm. He's got pull counters, He's got counter. I mean, he does have really good boxing on him. He's a good boxer. Like he's gonna come in there, he's gonna put a hurting on you. I seen him just walk through people, got him out of there in the first 30 seconds of round one. I mean, he's a top guy. He was a British guy that he did that to. I mean, he just really just fuck your punches, and beat his ass. That's what he did for 30 seconds. Into the opening bell and got this victory. I seen him box people and I mean just working on he's just working on his he treating like sparring. He treating like big time match. I mean what he did to that Maloney guy from Australia, I mean he just that was just glorified sparring for him. I'm gonna just keep that shit real. I mean, he wanted to just eat him up, but the point was he had to get some boxing in. So I mean, it was clear, and that's what the eye test told me, and I think that was clear to everybody else. So therefore, people just started a cascade of opinions formed about how good this guy is. He did that at the bantamweight, I guess. Yeah, the bantamweight, 118 pounds. Now, here he is moving up into the super bantamweight as he looks to claim yet another division. He's like, what's that guy from the Marvel comics? The Planet Eater. Galactus. He's like Galactus, eating up divisions. And now here he is at the super bantamweight, 122 pounds. Cool Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton's division. See, Cool Boy Steph is a Philly-born and bred boxer, puncher. I mean, and he's up there. He puts him and Boots Ennis is really putting Philly on right now with his glorified. I mean, his rich boxing history. Just where would boxing be without Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? And here they are representing that flag, in modern day Philadelphia fighters. I mean, and shout out to what's that guy? Oh my goodness, the 154-pound division. Shout out to that Philly fighter. I'm forgetting his name. My goodness. But and that's because I really want to shout him out because Cool Boy Steph did. I mean, that just shows, he's cut from Philly's cloth. And so, Inoue is moving up into his division to treat him like he did them other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a good idea in this case. I mean, this is a case of overplaying your hand. Um, Cool Boy Steph ain't like them. He's not like his prior champions. He Naoya Inoue never fought stateside. He never fought stateside. I mean, he fought stateside, but I'm sorry, he never fought like, he never fought a black fighter. He never fought a black style. He never fought. He admitted to this, and he just don't understand how slick Cool Boy Steph is. He don't understand how slick he is. Now, Cool Boy Steph, right? I talked about Inoue. Now, Cool Boy Steph, right? He just a black, he just a melanated boxer, right? He's slick. He don't get hit. Then he does everything. You know, pause. He does it all. If Naoya is going to want to like press him, he's gonna make a mistake. He's gonna get touched. He's gonna get touched. He's gonna get touched up. He's gonna get touched in his body and in on his chin by a bigger guy. He cannot. He don't got the discipline. I mean, even in the Top Rank did an interview. I mean, with both of the fighters. This promotion should have been everywhere. They did not do either of these fights right. Everybody should know about this. The way you know about the UFC stuff. But he said in that interview, like, basically, Cool Boy Steph has it all, but it's still a tone of dismissal, that's not, wouldn't sit right with me if I were a fan of him. You don't want to dismiss Cool Boy Steph. You just don't want to. He's that good, he's fleet of foot, head movement, catch the shots, shoot them back. And he's the bigger guy. He's moving. Naoya is moving up into Stephen Fulton's division. He's already well acclimated to it. You've never felt it at that level. Not only did you not feel it at that level, you're facing the toast of the division. I mean, the best at the division. Now, right now, they got Cool Boy Steph holding on to he's got two of the belts. I think it's the WBO in the WBA. I think that's the two. Meanwhile, there's another guy whose name, oh my goodness. Damn. I can't think of his name right now. Who holds the other two belts, the WBC and the WBA. Instead of Naoya going to the other guy what he should have did was treat him like a tune-up. He's gonna go straight to Cool Boy Steph. You literally got the equivalency in a no-name guy. You know what I'm saying? At that division, all you gotta do. Now, shout out to that guy. I looked him up. I just am not thinking of his name. He's an Hispanic gentleman. And he looks really good. He holds the WBA and WBC belts right now. But Boy Steph is a level more skilled than what I just seen from my eye test. And that's the guy who Naoya chooses first. He could have treated this. Oh man, yeah, I can't think of his name. He could have treated the other title holder as a tune-up. Test yourself on there while acquiring two belts and in one fight. I mean, really, you should have. In my opinion, you should have did that. Why would you not do that? You know. And then you take that leverage and then you enter into a Boy Steph fight, it'll be for a bigger bag. How could it not be? You're a title holder at a division that you just moved up to in your very first fight. A unified title holder, I mean. And then you can have the undisputed matchup in your second fight with a perfect build up. It would have been perfectly built at that point. But you choosing, I mean, it's just not a good move to jump straight into the 122 division against one of the pound for pound greats, a true pound for pound great, underrated pound for pound great in Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton. I mean, Stephen Fulton Jr. I mean, you got too many yes men, is what I'm really just going to say, around you to not see that flow you could have gone on. It's just going to be too much for Naoya moving up to chew. It's too much to chew. He can't overwhelm him, and then just trying to overwhelm him is not a good idea. He's that good. Definitely got Boy Steph, and I mess around. I mess around, get him at. I don't think he gonna stop him. I don't think I'll give. I don't think. I do think Naoya Inoue has enough punch resistance to not get stopped. So, but I think it'll be even in Naoya Inoue's home country of Japan. I think they cannot finesse the home cooking enough for Stephen Fulton to not win this fight via unanimous decision. I just don't see it. I do not see how this Philly fighter is not going to get a unanimous decision victory come July 25th, Tuesday. Japanese time. So, man, I wish everybody knew more about this Stephen Fulton Naoya Inoue fight. It's a shame that it's getting overshadowed. I mean, it's a shame that they're fighting in the shadows of one of the most anticipated fights of this generation. It's a shame. It's just a shame. The fight's supposed to happen prior, like it's July. It was supposed to happen in, I think, February this year. However, Naoya Inoue suffered a hand injury, okay, as reports say, as to why it had to be postponed. Man, Boy Steph can't catch a break. His last fight was fought in the shadows of Devin Haney Cambosos, part one. It was the same day, in which he defended his unified championship status against a top guy. I think Daniel Roman, I think something like that. Yeah. One of the top guys of the division. He defended his unified titles, and he during that presser he expressed frustrations during the press conference of the what is it, abysmal promotion. He was saying how he had to promote himself. He complained about that. I mean, he was really annoyed with the shirts and ties that day. You know, moving up to the current fight, he hasn't really gone there. He didn't go there this time. However, it's clear that it is like this shirts and ties don't give a damn. Why is this fight not promoted? Why is it? I mean, PBC. I don't know if they are promoting this fight at all. And Top Rank ain't. They just started promoting in this fight week. I mean, they started promoting like, yo, the Errol Spence Terence Crawford promotions came out before this one, but that fight was, I think it was official. I mean, it became official later than this. You know what I'm saying? They knew the Naoya Inoue, Stephen Fulton date before they knew the Terence Crawford, but they just started promoting this fight. Like, what are maybe these people aren't investors, but this one is like a slam dunk. If you want to bring boxing, expand boxing, this is such a year. You want eyes on boxing this year because you can really hook some fans, you know. Um, uh, uh, um, but Stephen Fulton hasn't really gone. He hasn't touched it at all. He's being real cool about it, No pun intended, And he's just focused. He's very focused. I think he's, you know, just going to box his ears off. He's going to box Naoya Inoue's ears off for 12 rounds. I mean, Naoya's a tough kid, so he's going to come out there with two bursted eardrums. He's going to beat up. He's going to be beat up while the guy just circles around him. He think he got good feet. He does, Naoya Inoue, and yes, he does have good feet. But he ain't never faced a Stephen Fulton. He never has. He said in his thing that I've never seen a Stephen Fulton, but the thing is, he's never seen a Naoya Inoue. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. He knows you. He sees straight through you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he does. And I don't see straight through you. He does. And he just don't even see it. He don't see it coming. I mean, everybody's. Yeah, sure. He's the first one out of Japan since like the 70s to be like a unified champion or something like that, or multi-divisional champion, something great like that. But he not ready. He not ready. People hope that he ready because they just want to hope that he's not hype. But yeah, he's pretty damn good, but he ain't ready for Stephen Fulton. He ain't ready for Stephen Fulton. And I mean, even if this shit was rematched, he still wouldn't be ready then. You know, he's just not. He just don't know what to do with the enigma of that slick ass black boxing style. He just don't know what to do with it. He's not gonna know. Um, yeah, so I think I kind of covered what I wanted to talk about. I think I did. Yeah, these are the two biggest fights that's happening next week. Man, please do what you can to try to catch this fight live. Uh, it's going to be on Stephen Steph Fulton and Naoya Inoue. It's going to be on the ESPN app um, at 4 a.m. in the morning, July 25th. So I guess, July 24th is, you want to kind of, you know, get your sleep patterns, get your sleep affairs in order. So you can try to catch this on your ESPN app. I'm going to try to catch it. I hope I can. But, I mean, it's going to air at 4 a.m. in the morning. I mean, woo, what a feat, you know? So, but either way, I imagine it'll be on instant replay. Just watch this fight. It is going to be an amazing fight. It is going to be it might steal fight week. This fight can steal fight week. It can outperform. It's crazy that I'm even going to say this. It could potentially outperform Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. It really can. So try to catch this fight. Tuesday, July 25th, 4 a.m. ESPN Plus. I think is what it is. And definitely, buy your pay-per-view. Use your money to buy pay-per-view this fight. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. Errol the Truth Spence versus Terence Bud Crawford. Watch these two fights if you call yourself a fight fan, if you want to be a fight fan trying to get back into just understanding boxing, all relevant things to the sport of boxing. I mean, I plan on dropping these more often than not. I could have got to more stuff, but obviously I can't get to. I mean, I did a lot in this one sitting, so the point is to come back daily, potentially to for these boxing updates. So watch those two fights: Tuesday, July 25th, 4 a.m. on ESPN Plus, and Saturday, July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view. I think it's like $100. I don't know for real because whatever. It's probably like $100. Come on, just please support your people. Please support these two black brothers. And just watch that other fight because we got a brother from Philly who flying over to Japan. This guy moving up to his division, but he flying over to Japan. And Inoue was undisputed at bantamweight, 118 pounds, before he dropped his belts to then move up to challenge Stephen Boy Steph Fulton Jr. All right. Anyway, he doing all that, and he the man. Yeah, let's really root for our guy. Root for Team USA. And support that fight. Watch that fight. If you can't catch it clearly, you got an excuse. this time, but catch it on Insta replay. ASAP. Watch it. You know, you know, show some your support in the comment sections. Like we're a fan of these fighters. We're a fan of the winner, and we want what's next for the greatness of these divisions. And so tune in on the 25th. Buy the pay-per-view on the 29th. Interact on social media in solidarity, for great boxing. And yeah. And, thanks for hanging out and checking out this video. All right.